Family drama. First story is titled, Am I the A-hole for giving the entire inheritance to my twin brother? So I, 30 female, made money young. I dropped out of college to model, then started my own business and made some smart decisions with stocks. So I have quite a bit of money saved, my own property owned free and clear, just pay utilities, and a couple cars. I am single and childless. Growing up, I was very close with my twin, 30 male, but not so much with my other siblings, also twins, 28 female. Basically, they were favored quite a bit by my parents. I took care of myself starting in high school, and so did my twin. He paid his own way through college with no parental help, while I built my own business also on my own. Our younger siblings did not. Our parents bought them cars in high school, paid 100% of their tuition and living expenses in college, and supported them in starting their adult lives. Both my sisters ended up in bad relationships, where they had kids that the fathers eventually had nothing to do with. My parents have always given them plenty of money and support. I just got diagnosed with a terminal brain tumor. It's inoperable and I'm going to die within 6 months. I have made my peace with it. I opted to leave everything to my brother in my will. That was so he can pay off his student loans and have a vehicle and home free and clear. I want to know he has a good life while I'm gone. My parents and sisters found out that I'm leaving everything to him and flipped out. They accused me of favoritism and being a bad daughter, aunt, and sister. They said my parents deserved money for raising me, and that my nieces and nephews deserved money for future expenses, since their mothers couldn't afford things like cars and college. Even my grandma and my uncle's wife, who I barely see, messaged me on Facebook to tell me how selfish I'm being. I blocked all of them in Facebook and told my brother I only wanted him to be at my bedside while I died. Am I the a-hole for giving my inheritance solely to my brother and for cutting my family off? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, but maybe see a solicitor to make sure your will is incontestable. You don't want your poor brother trying to mourn you, while a bunch of vultures steal everything not nailed down or specified in the will. I am sorry for your situation, and I hope that you have only the people who love you around you for your remaining time. I just want to tack on this comment to make sure it's documented that you were of sound mind when you made your will. My family contested a will by saying our relative with brain cancer wasn't capable of making big decisions. They said my family member's brain tumor was affecting their ability to make decisions. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. It's your money, your choice. Your brother may decide to help out your nieces, but that's his choice and not theirs. I would talk with your brother though, because I'd be worried your family will try and gaslight him into giving them a portion of the inheritance. I hope, for your sake, this can be sorted out and you can get some peace. Edit, I'd leave them each $1, so they can't contest the will. I don't know where the OP is, but in the UK, the other siblings would have a legal right to contest the will, even if they're only left £1. When I made my will a few months ago, I left smaller amounts to some family members than to others. I also wrote an open letter that was also witnessed alongside a will, explaining my reasons for the decisions I made, so that if the family members do contest the will, the judge has all the relevant information to help them make the decision on whether I was being reasonable or not. Not the a-hole. It's your money. I'd go over with an inheritance lawyer to close any loopholes that the family could take. Make sure you tell him not to let family members coax or scam him into giving them money. Example, pretending to love him/be friends after his death because he got money. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my sister out of my home before she could eat? I will set the stage. The other weekend, my boyfriend and I hosted our family for the first time since we moved in together. This included my boyfriend's parents, grandparents, his mom's parents he grew up with, and his brother, my parents, and younger brother and sister. My sister is 18. When she was 7, she got really sick, and afterward my parents refused to acknowledge any bad behavior, and this sent her out of control. She is demanding, spoiled, and selfish, and has never apologized for anything she did in her entire life since that day. It always drove me crazy. My brother gets annoyed sometimes, but they were close in age and had more fun with it. I was the grumpy older sister who had to deal with her crap more. So the other weekend, they were all here, and she was going through our stuff. My boyfriend asked her to stop, and she didn't. I made her stop, and she was bitching about it. Then, she started asking really intrusive questions to my boyfriend's parents about why they let his grandparents live with them. Right before dinner, she said she wanted pizza, not whatever crap I had made. My boyfriend told her we weren't ordering pizza just for her, and she said she didn't want to eat my crap. I was so tired of her disrespect that I told her to get out of my house. She was shocked I kicked her out and thought I was joking, but I told her she was not welcome in my home if she was going to disrespect me like that. My parents are pissed I would kick her out in front of other company. I told them I was tired of the disrespect and she was acting like a child. They said I shouldn't have been bullying her. My sister was pissed that I would kick her out before she could eat, but she made it clear she wasn't going to eat what I prepared, and we were not willing to pay for her to get takeout. Am I the a-hole here? Should I have said nothing while my boyfriend's family was there? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. She goes through life thinking, who's gonna check me, boo? The answer is life. Life is going to check her. You just gave her the preview. Not the a-hole. Family or not, that's your and your boyfriend's home. If someone is disrespecting either of you, your home or your guest, you have every right to kick them out. In my opinion, you should have kicked your parents out too. Looking back, you're right. Also, as boyfriend's family, I would have been side-eyeing Opie if she hadn't put up more of a stink with the sister being so nosy about boyfriend's family life. Not the a-hole. Your sister sounds awful, and well done for standing up to her. Your boyfriend and his family will likely think better of you for doing so. Generally, she's annoying more than anything, but she crosses the line far too often for me. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for taking back my nephew's Christmas present and giving it to my son? My sister and I have always had a strained relationship. I usually just let things go and try to keep the peace. We both have sons who are around the same age. My nephew is 13 and my son just turned 11. For my son's birthday, I bought him the new gaming system he has been wanting. He was absolutely thrilled, and he plays nonstop. My sister is bad with money. I usually have to lend her money for bills and stuff for my nephew. I know my nephew doesn't always get the best Christmas gifts, so this year I went a little crazy, and I purchased the same gaming system for him for Christmas. I already had it ready and wrapped under my tree. Yesterday, my sister's family came to visit. My son asked me if they could go play video games. I said yes, and reminded them to be careful. About 30 minutes later, my son comes running to me crying. I asked him what was wrong, and he led me to the front hall. When we get to the stairs, I see the new system smashed on the floor. Someone had thrown it from the upstairs, and it was now smashed to pieces. I asked my son what happened, and he sobbed and pointed at his cousin. I asked my nephew if he did this, and he started to laugh. He said it was a stupid baby toy, and that is how people break them online. My sister came in, and I told her what happened. I explained that this was an expensive system, and that her son needs to be disciplined for what he did. I told her I wanted her to pay for what her son broke. She laughed and said no. She says I shouldn't have let them play unsupervised, that it was my fault, and that I am a bad parent. She said my son will get over it, and that it was not important. Seeing my son sitting on the ground next to his broken system trying to put the pieces back together tore my heart out. I walked over to the Christmas tree and grabbed the system that was meant for my nephew. I pulled the gift wrap off and gave it to son and told him to go upstairs and set it up. My sister asked me why I was making such a big deal when I had another one already. I then laughed and told her that was her son's Christmas gift. That since it wasn't important and it was just a stupid baby toy, then they obviously won't miss it. I then told them to leave. My nephew realized what happened and began to cry, that my son had stolen his system. I said no, his was the one that he smashed. My sister was livid and told me that I will never see them again. I just said okay and slammed the door. Other family members have now been calling me nonstop and saying I am an a-hole and that I ruined my nephew's Christmas. I don't think so though. My nephew is 13. He is not a stupid kid, and he knew what he was doing. I don't care that it was over jealousy. He is old enough to know better. My sister was not going to make the situation right, so I just did what I had to do. They all think I should buy another new system for him, but I don't have that kind of money. I'm starting to feel bad about this, and I am wondering am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your sister's terrible parenting ruined her kid's Christmas. Your nephew's jealousy ruined his own Christmas. It's entirely possible that your sister has spun a lie to the extended family, so be sure the flying monkeys have the full story in your responses to them. What part of my nephew deliberately smashing my son's console, telling us he'd seen it done online, and insulting the gaming system is acceptable in your eyes? How is my sister refusing to take responsibility for the damage or for not disciplining her son acceptable in your eyes? I bought 2 consoles. My nephew deliberately smashed one. I won't be buying a third. If you think that sort of behavior deserves to be rewarded, feel free to buy a console for nephew yourself. That's a great response. I might just use that. I think she's telling our family a lie about what happened to make herself the victim. She is kind of known for this kind of thing. Not the a-hole. Your sister just disrespected you and your child and doesn't care enough to discipline hers. Her son will grow up to be an entitled jerk. You did nothing wrong. Just taught them a lesson that I hope they learn. Probably won't, though. My nephew isn't a terrible kid all the time, but he has some serious rage issues. My sister refuses to listen to reason and won't get him help. The school board even tried to step in, but now she has homeschools him instead. Not the a-hole. Do not buy this kid anything. He is 13 years old and knows right from wrong. And if he doesn't, this is his first lesson. Actions have consequences. I guess that's true. I don't like to parent other people's children, but my sister was not taking it seriously at all. She told me just to take my son to McDonald's for dinner and that he will forget. Yeah, that sure will make him forget about his brand new smashed console. Now, for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex to get over herself and shut the hell up after she got mad at my son for not being in the room for his wife's labor? When my wife got pregnant, I dumped her because she admitted to baby trapping me. We've had split custody of our son from the day he was born to the day he turned 18, when he then stayed with me full-time as his choice. In 2017, my son married his high school sweetheart, and about 4 months ago, they decided to have a child. She recently decided that she wanted her mom in the room during her labor, and everyone was perfectly fine with this, except for my ex-wife. She claimed that he is the father of his child, needs to be more realistic, and be there for his wife during her time of need. We all just told her to stop because she didn't get to make that choice. He was fine with it, and it's what his wife wanted, so my ex should not get an opinion on that matter. Well, this went on for about 2 weeks, and yesterday, I had enough. We were all over there discussing a gender reveal. Nothing big, they were just going to have a friend make a cake. It would just be family. She brought up the issue with the delivery room, and I got really annoyed. I told her that she needed to shut the hell up and get over herself, because it wasn't her child, and she didn't get to make that choice. She got really upset and started wailing, so my son kicked her out. We went back to what we were doing, and my daughter-in-law actually thanked me for saying something, but I can't help but feel like I was too harsh. Am I in the wrong here? Now, for the top comments. Not the a-hole, but you should have known this the minute your son kicked her out and his wife thanked you. Not the a-hole. Whatever the woman pushing the baby out wants, the woman pushing the baby out gets. Especially since it was the ex-wife throwing a fit, not the son who's actually the father of the child. This sounds more like the ex-wife has a personal vendetta against the decision of the daughter-in-law. The son understands his wife's reasons, and that's all that matters. Not the a-hole. Your daughter-in-law picks whoever she wants in the delivery room. She picked her mom. Your son is fine with your daughter-in-law's choice. Your ex-wife couldn't take it. Her feelings got hurt, and she responded by wailing. Your delivery may have been a little harsh, but in the end, your daughter-in-law decides who is in the delivery room with her. She made her choice. End of story. Info. This is a genuine question. How does someone you'd already married to baby trap you? I thought that was something that only a horrible person who was a singleton would do to a partner who wouldn't commit. We were married under the agreement that we wouldn't have any children. I found out she was using me mainly for money inherited from my own parents, and I planned to leave her. But she had already ripped small holes into our protection. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.